Hi, everyone. Let's wait a few seconds so everyone shows up. Can you see us? Can you hear us? Please say yes in the comment box. Let's see. Let's just wait a little bit. Here we go. Okay, this is here. We are just checking some technical. Belinda, hi, can you hear us? Yes, fantastic. So let's just wait a few minutes and then we will start. I'm having a cup of coffee, wonderful. Signe made for me.
The best one.
The best one. Is it Uli?
Yes.
It's all about the Uli.
Yes.
Hi, Belinda. Hi, dear. Okay, I love it, Belinda. Fantastic. So we are trying to do both Facebook group and on the main Facebook page. So let's just wait one more minute and then we can start, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes. I will have a cup of tea.
And I will put for you some tea.
It's almost tea time.
Yes. It's like 11 a.m. morning here in Latvia. And okay, let's go for it. So, hi everyone, I am Liene, business and success coach for entrepreneurs. And my goal here is to bring wonderful, fantastic, and successful people to show you that everything is possible and to show you that all those people are the same people. They are just having some different habits. They're having some different beliefs, and that's the reason why they are achieving what they are achieving. So I'm gonna read about Signe because I don't want to miss a thing. I will tell you honestly. Signe has her recipe magazine. She has her recipe webpage, and I'm always the first place when I go to look for something to cook, like cake or some muffins or breakfast, I'm always going to your Four Seasons www.Cetras Sezonas.com, and I'm just choosing her recipes because I believe they're the best ones. Honestly, this is not just saying. So, okay. So let me introduce you with amazing and talented guest Signe Meirane. She is a food addict, as she says about herself, in every possible way. She's mother of 2 daughters, owner and editor-in-chief of the top Latvian food magazine, Cetras Sezonas, and person who can talk about food all the time, and some may say too much. I wouldn't say that because I love food. So Signe is not just a dedicated mother, but also the owner and editor-in-chief of the Latvian food magazine and called Cetras Sezonas. Signe takes her passion from cooking into an art that you will surely love. Her books are remarkable and definitely something you don't want to miss. I would like to introduce you to the author of the 9 cookbooks, my friend Signe Meirane.
Hello.
Hi, Signe.
Hi.
I'm so
Hi.
thankful that you are here. So tell me a little bit about your story, who you are, what you are doing, why you are doing.
Well, as I'm saying in some lectures that I sometimes do, that I am this, as you said, the same person as everybody else, because I was a small girl once. I'm from countryside, so my entrance or my position in life was the same as everyone else's. I played around, I ate a lot. I was like a Michelin, Michelin person with 3 tires and everything. So I was involved with Michelin already when I was 3 or 4, 6 maybe. But so it's I'm the same as everyone else. I just discovered my passion in life, which I had already since I was 10. I just didn't know it so well. And I was studying in between something else, but then I understood that that's not my thing. And
What did you study?
I studied communication and journalism, and I know I'm kind of doing it, but if I would have to write about anything else except food, like fashion, I don't know, politics or something else, that would be terrible. So I can write only about food because I like it, and so that's why I don't consider myself a journalist.
Right.
I study it, but I just talk about what I love. And then I used to work in marketing and everything else, but I just came back to the things I love. And when I discovered it, then I just started to work on it. It, like many people always think that it just came to me, all this life.
Of course, it's easy. You're so lucky, right?
I'm so lucky. I get to travel. I get to eat great food and everything else. But the secret to that is that it takes a lot of work. It's when I tell to some students in some schools, when I talk with them, I say that the saddest thing is that to get there, you have to work. Because a lot of people really think that for us, the successful people, the success just comes. But the truth is that you work for it. You love it. You love the way how you get there, but you work for it.
That's for sure. Yeah. And this is, I totally agree with Signe, and thank you so much that you are letting people to know this, because people they tend to look at some successful people who have achieved something, and they just think that it's about circumstances. Mm-hmm. It's because they have maybe great parents, maybe some great people around, but it is about hard work, right?
It's because I used to live, we used to live quite poorly. When we moved to the capital of Latvia, to Riga, then we lived in an apartment with 3 different families. We didn't have almost any money, so I'm not from a family where my parents inherited something and gave it to me. No, but I knew that if you want to develop yourself, to develop your life, to have an interesting life that you love, you just have to work for it.
What do you think is the main characteristic that made you to become so successful? What do you think exactly?
I think one thing is that I like to, if I see something, or if I see for example, the magazine or the picture, I want it to be like that. So I don't want it to be halfway.
Okay.
So I really work for the things that I believe in. The other thing is, yes, I have always believed in things we do. And I think one of the things for a great success is to believe in what you love, in what you do. And then it comes more easy. It doesn't come easy. It doesn't come just to you, but the road to finish line or to some line, to new goals, it just becomes much more easier and much more interesting. And then also, when you work, especially when you have a team or people, you have to understand that you have a responsibility towards them if they're your employees. I have been working with some companies where the managers always think about them first, and they will always pay the money to them first, and then the rest will receive someday somehow. I don't think it's the right way. You have to pay your people, and then you maybe pay yourself, but you cannot mess with the people that you hire, because that's just not how it happens. I think also you have to be loyal to your good partners. You don't have to run from one to the other, because if you have good relationships with somebody, you have to keep them. It's the same as with a husband and wife. You have to work on them. It's not like, somebody gives a much better deal and you just run to them, because today maybe it will be better, but maybe after a year it will not be the best solution. So you just have to, these are the things that I believe. You have to be loyal, You have to be honest, I would say. That's maybe also the hardest thing, because not a lot of people actually like honesty.
Exactly.
And you have to believe what you do. And for me also, one thing when I work, I know that it's maybe not sometimes good for business, but I always try to think about the positive also impact on maybe people or planet or the things around me. I cannot just do something because to earn money.
Exactly.
I really want to. If I look back, I can say that with 3 books that I have done, which is our heritage books, I have left something
Behind yourself.
Yeah,
That's your big why.
Yeah, and that's why I will sleep easily, because in my business, of course, I have done things for the business for earning money, but I will look back and say, yes, I did something for Latvian history. We have 3 books with heritage recipes, with stories about history. So that's so I always have to find a balance. Business, yeah, we all need to earn, but you have to give something also back to make it level.
Yeah, good that you mentioned it, because one thing that I'm really grateful to Signe, because she has started this movement in Latvia. I don't know how many years ago, but I know that you were one of the persons who impacted many people. So they started to eat healthy, more healthy. They started to think how to give the food, what kind of food to give their children, to their kids. And another thing, you were the one who were really saying people, hey guys, you have to eat healthy, like all the ecological products. The people, I think that was the moment when also ecological product shop, it just exploded there. And the thing about your why, that you are leaving something behind, I think it's a huge thing, because if you know why are you doing this, if you know your why, you want to leave something behind you. You just don't want to egoistically build successful business and here I am. You want to give something for our country, for our nation. I think it's so beautiful. So
it is a very important thing for me, because I think it plays a big role in my life. Maybe other business people really think that it's stupid, but I think that in life we always have to have a balance, and if you get something, you have to give back. It's not like you have to give back to the same person, but you just, as I say, if somebody sends me some product, then I want to tell about it if I like it, or it will work somehow that I will maybe suggest something else or do something or give something to somebody, because it's always about the balance. If you give, you get, you give, you get, and
it's beautiful.
And I think it's very important. But I think I really started to think that way like 3 years ago, maybe, like really feel it that way. Before that, I did it. But 3 years ago,
you didn't give a meaning for this.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It was. I knew that I have to do these things, but now it is really important. I think it's also because I have a lot of people around me now who do. We live that way. So I have learned from them, and I also believe that, and I teach my children that if you do something bad, it will come back. And if you do something good, it will come back. Not today, maybe not tomorrow, but it will always come back.
And you see, guys, again, we come to the point when your environment is so important, what you have around. And I'm the one who is constantly repeating to my clients, to my audience, guys, please be really careful what kind of people you surround yourself with, because it's going to impact your thinking, it's going to impact your success, it's going to impact your achievements. Because if you're going to be in between the average people who don't care, who don't think about anything, I don't mean like average in the bad way, but in the ones, who just settle down for everything, you won't have this drive as well, right?
Yes,
and when you see around yourself the people who are really committed to do something, to impact the world, to leave something behind you, you see, that's the result.
It is very important. I mean, I have had a big experience with people, with the change of people around us, our family, our business. And I would say that I'm happy that we did the business because it changed a lot. It changed, it really showed us, and me, especially me, who are actually your friends and who are just there to have a great parties at your house and drink wine and never invite you to the party. So it's maybe a very simple comparison, but it shows a lot. And but of course it takes time to understand maybe it, and but if you're open to it, then, and yeah, the people around changed also my values, my thinking of how I want to do the business further in my life. So it is a very important thing that I don't agree with the saying that I've heard a few years ago. I heard from one mother when she said you always have to stick with richer people than you, because then you will have the right life. I don't agree with that. It's not about the richness.
It's not about the richness.
It's about the state of mind, about the things, how you see life, about values, about everything actually. But it's not about the richness.
It's not about the money. It's about the drive. It's about the thinking. It's about the mindset. But Signe, I know one. By the way, if you have any questions, please go ahead and post them there. So we will be happy to hear all your questions. So please go ahead and write in the comment box. But you've been really, really busy entrepreneur, and I know you are mom of two beautiful, absolutely amazing daughters. They are, how old? One is 8, another
8 and soon 10.
And another one is 10 years old. And you know, we as a female entrepreneurs, we come to one moment in our lives when we realize that actually it's not about the drive and the success and the business. And when we realize that we want to be women and we want to enjoy this motherhood and at the same time manage the business. So can you tell me a little bit about this story, please?
Well, you know, when I studied, I thought that I would be this successful businesswoman, and I will have children, and I will have everything, and I will be so great in it. And then when I met my husband, he actually in the beginning of our relationship said that he thinks that women have to work and earn the same as men.
Okay.
So that's,
how many years ago was it?
10?
Oh, okay.
11, something like that. So it was in my head all the time. So I understood, okay, I have to work the same. But it didn't come like a really big problem. I was on that drive or on that line when I thought so. And we worked a lot. And at one point, I understood that you cannot, as I say, you cannot sit with one butt on 2 chairs. You start to lose both sides, the balance. So it took, I think, 7 years with a lot of work and not seeing kids so much. So I understood that I don't want to do it.
What was the breaking point for you when you realized that you want to change?
I think it was one of the things was that I saw it in my kids, that they start to miss me too much emotionally, that you can actually feel it, that it's not enough for them. It was actually only last year when I felt that, but some years already before, I think 2 years before, I understood that when I come home, I don't want to talk, I don't want to do anything, I just want to eat and go to bed. And I'm so tired that even when they ask us to do something, I don't want to do anything. So because all the time I'm just thinking about new projects, new ideas, something I have to do tomorrow, I have to write down. And so it's like your mind is all the time in the circle of the state of mind is just, what do I have to do still?
Yes, you are in the place, but you are not present.
No,
your mind is thinking about what you have to do.
And also one of the things what we did, we worked with my husband together. So, and we stepped, I have been reading a lot about the fact, don't work together with your husband, but of course, if you don't test
I understand you.
you don't test it, you think, oh, that's
With me will be different,
yeah,
right?
yeah, we are so different. And we work together all the time, every day. We went to work together, we came home together. And then also you understand that it's just too much, because you're all the time together, and when you come home you don't want to talk, you don't want even to talk with anyone, not with your husband, not with your kids, because you have been talking all the day, sitting in front of each other, and so
You lose this intimacy,
yes,
right?
yeah. So at home it just and if you don't cut it, the line, when you come home you talk about the work at home. Oh yes, we should do this and we should do that. So it's a never-ending story, and you lose everything, I think, in relationships and also with kids. And it doesn't get boring, because you talk about the things that you love about the work, but you don't have you're not husband and wife anymore. So, and I got fed up with it, and
What about him?
luckily he was fed up with it also, and he was the one say I was fed up, but I didn't say anything, because I had this the text in my head that women have to work the same. So I went, okay, whatever.
It's our belief. We
Yeah.
receive something and then we believe, and then
Yes.
we act from this moment.
But then he said actually that he's fed up with me working all the time and not being as a wife, as a mother, and talking about work all the time. So actually he was the one who said, okay, we have to stop it.
Wow.
And we did. We decided that we can change the life, that he can be in charge of the business part, and I will be in charge of editorial part.
So he is a very brave man, I will be honest to you, because this is why I understand Signe so well, because I was in the completely same situation. When I come home, when I realize I don't want to do anything, I just want to, exist, and then you realize that something has to change. But here is my piece of advice. You can be in that state and this is fine, but you have to just understand, you will come to the moment when you will realize I have to change something. Yes. And it's about leverage, where you see that your cup is full, and that's when people start to make changes in their life. We don't want you to go to that point, and that's why I want to share with you Signe's story, because I don't want that you lose something, lose family, your husband, your business. I want that you realize how important it is to manage your femininity, to be as a mother, as a wife, and as a business owner, how important it is to play all those roles so you don't lose yourself.
Because also I understood that I have done a lot, of course, and I can say I am successful, but at the same time I could do more. But my kids needed me, and I can make my career after 5 or 10 years, I'm sure. I think I wouldn't have any problems to do it, but I cannot turn back and to change their emotional feelings and state of mind. And if they need me today, it is very important, because if I don't do this today, I can actually screw up their life in a way, because they need the support now.
That's right.
I can make career later also, but I cannot turn back time and change the emotional things that they missed from me. So that was also a very, very important thought I had in mind, that no, I will not play with my kids' emotions.
So it is about the priorities, right? And I think that's also one of the reasons why people get lost in their lives, because they live, they exist, they do their duties. I know I have to be at the business, manage my people, but they haven't measured their priorities in their head. Once you realize that your priority is the family, once you realize your priority is a kid, you start to make different decisions, right? Yeah. What is different now if you compare before Signe and now, what you are doing differently?
Well, the first thing is I'm working from home. because now we don't have a nanny, we have kids. I am more, I would say I'm not like before. I was 90% working woman, and 10% I was to my kids. Now I would say that I'm 50-50 or even more to my kids, and I still do all my projects because I like to do things. I cannot just sit and do nothing. But I have managed to make my day plan that when my kids leave to school around 7, I start to work. That's why sometimes when it's 9 and I have already sent all of the emails, and I'm thinking, why nobody's replying? But then I understand, it's just like 8:45. Nobody's at work actually. So, and I'm starting my day earlier so that later I can pick them up, and I do a lot of things. I also don't do now a lot of events I used to do before. Like I have lots of invitations to events, but I really look at the places or I will go, or to the event I will go, because most of them are sometimes just you go and it's nothing. It's a waste of time.
Again, existing, just showing up here.
Yes, and now I really think if I need to go there, if it's my good partner who has been supporting me all the time, I will go. I will support them too. If it's something interesting, I will go, but I will not go just to have a free glass of wine and some canapes and just to smile. And I don't do that anymore. So I have cut that too, because the time in the evening with my family is much more important than just sipping wine and looking how people have dressed up.
And how gossip about somebody else.
Yes, of course, that's a big part. And I'm still working on my of the things, how I feel or how I perceive things. I'm not as calm as I would like to be, but I think I'm much more calmer than I used to be. I used to come home and like, I hate everything, and then I could scream.
How feminine woman at home, dreams like
everything is bad, and so I could like really start to scream easily. Now I just think, no, I don't need that, and
it doesn't make sense.
Yes,
right?
It doesn't make sense. Of course, I would say that the things I got on my shoulders or in my nerves in these 7 years, of course, doesn't go out so easily. You don't lose them so easily. So the transformation is still taking time. It's been a year, and I think it will be one more year when I will be really at the point where I would like to be.
Do you know, have you been writing for yourself how you want to be? Like, so you are clear, how are you measuring? Are you at the point where you want to be, or,
I don't write down, but I like to make these collage.
It's like vision board.
Yes,
yeah? Okay.
I like to make those. Of course, I think about the things how I would like them to be. I know what I want to, where I want to be in 2 or 3 years, and I'm working on it. Sometimes when I forget about it, then I can write down maybe, or make these visions. But I know what I want. I just I know that in this year it doesn't happen that fast. It's not like, okay, we will change now. In 2 days, everything has changed, and I'm there. For first months, I was, I think my head was like a big mess, because you kind of you don't go to work physically to the office anymore. So you change the way from what time to what time you pick up something or do something. You have to keep in mind that if somebody asks for an interview at 4 o'clock, I cannot do it because I have to pick up my kids. I can do it
again, priorities, right?
And so for first 3 or 4 months, I think it was like some days I felt like my head is just like a big mess, because the transformation from one thing to other, it takes time. And even now, it's been 9 or 10 months since I'm doing it, and sometimes I keep thinking to myself, no, stop this. It's again going back into the same direction. No, just don't do it. So I think it's we have to understand that all the changes take time.
Exactly.
It
You
doesn't
can't
happen
build
in
a Rome in
yes,
one day, right?
No, it's the same as people go to gym for a week and they think that they will have like, oh, these slim legs and everything. No, it takes months. So, and it's the same with the things you change. It doesn't take time. And if you have been also nervous or stressful, it will not change in one day. It will take time. You have to work with yourself.
I just love that you're saying this, but also the one thing what I acknowledge you and I really, admire right now what you're saying is that we tend to work on our businesses, but we forget that we have to become better persons, we have to become better mothers, we have to become better wives. And people work on our business. When I ask, do you have plan for business? Yes, I want to make in 5 years this. Mm-hmm. And when I ask, do you have plan for your family life? Do you have plan for your femininity, for your, for the feeling as a mother? Then they are like, well, like, it's confusing even for them. And you are the one who is, yes, but, and this is the biggest problem. We work on our businesses, but we don't work on our, personality, on our family. But this is exactly the place where you need to invest your time, where you need to invest your mind, because if at home will be everything good,
yes,
you can transfer this energy in the business as well.
I really believe that, and I think that I also believe nowadays that for a woman, we are the soul of the house. We are mothers, we are wives, and if there is a big mess in a woman's head at home, then all the house is a big mess.
So true. Good words.
It's just. I know my husband has said a lot of times when I come back from a trip, like for 3 days or 5 days, I come back and I come home and like it's really nice, but still the things are like something's wrong. And I put everything back. I make a dinner, and he said, oh yes, we can feel that the soul has come back.
Oh my goodness, how beautiful. I love it.
So and I really believe that, of course, it is very important for us to develop ourselves, to learn, to maybe go some classes or even university for some time. But I think that women are truly not meant to be really strong in business, because they just, the balance then, it just disappears. And I have been in that point when I have been this woman who I can do everything. I'm like, you're nothing and I can do everything.
Oh, I can understand you.
I can be superwoman.
Yes.
And then I understood that no, I can. The main thing, I want to be a great mother. I want to be a great wife. And then I want to invest in myself, to develop every
personal
day.
development.
Yes, and I want to do some business. I want to do it very nicely, not running around like crazy and losing a lot of things. But yeah, most of all, I want to have a nice home, family, because if there is order there, then there is order everywhere.
Signe, what is the piece of advice what you can suggest to those mothers who are running their business, having the kids, and they have this feeling of guilt that they are not spending enough time with the kids, that they are not being, because there is this all the time inside, there is this, like echo which is saying, you are not good mother, you are not spending enough time. What do you suggest? But at the same time, I believe it's so important to be, to follow your passion, to follow your purpose, to build your business. How can you manage it in your inner world, not in your outer world?
Well, yeah, that's a very tricky question, because I
like to ask tricky questions.
I'm still trying to figure the final answer to it, because I'm still learning.
Right.
It's not that easy, but you have to understand that I have seen women who are actually spending a lot of time with their kids and doing some business, and they're still saying, oh, that's not enough. I mean, you really have to understand that you don't have to be a perfect mother. It's like there is no perfect mother
Yes.
in life.
There is nothing is perfect,
yes,
right?
you have to be a good mother. You have to help your kids. You have to spend time with them. But you also, yes, have to remember that if you will just be a perfect mother and a perfect wife and lose yourself, it will not benefit anyone. So
It starts with you,
yeah,
right?
it starts
Okay.
with you. So to find the balance, it's so much depends on a person, and so much depends on a place where you live and what you do, and on time also in your life. There is no formula. It's just if you work a lot and you feel all the time that you're bothered by the fact that you don't spend enough time or you're not feminine enough, then you have to, I think, then you have to cut your working hours or even your work or something. I have been also having these discussions with myself in previous years, and I was afraid that if I will stop somehow to do what I will lose everything. But no, you don't lose everything.
What did you win now when you make the switch?
I mean, I still have the same amount of work. I can maybe say yes or no to something much more easily, to some projects.
So to learn to say no, this is also a key moment.
Yes. And then what I have, I don't know. There are so many things that I haven't lost anything, I would say. That's one thing for sure. I have discovered that you can actually put your phone and email away for a while and the world doesn't die
without you, right? Whole world can survive without me.
So you can, and I think that if somebody really, it's like sometimes people they call me once or twice and then they just don't call anymore. And I think that if somebody really wants to get to you, he will get to you. He will call once or twice, and then he will write maybe an SMS or email. And if it will meant to be to have the project, it will happen. But sometimes we just think that,
we're gonna miss something.
I didn't pick up the phone. Oh my God, what? Oh, maybe it was the chance. If it will be the chance, it will come.
So it is the faith and letting and learning to let it go. And I will just wrap up for people that the point is that you have to know your priorities, right? And then you are just realizing that nothing will happen if you are not there, right? And if that evening is for your family, you're putting down your phone. You're just taking away those emails and stuff. You're just focusing on your family and yourself, on your kids. It's beautiful.
Yes. It's just you don't have to do everything. You cannot manage to do everything, and you don't need to manage everything, and you don't have to be in all the events you're invited to. And it's just the beauty sometimes is in the thing that you are cooking a great family meal for your family. You're just setting a table and sitting and talking, and then waking up next morning and you can do everything else.
It's beautiful, Signe. What are the practices maybe, because I believe that we are what we do, okay? And I really believe if you want to be above, like in 2% of the society and be successful, you have to do more. You have to be willing to make more, commitments, to do some practices or disciplines. What are the disciplines that you say is the must in order to be successful in your life and business?
I think you have to you have to have some time for yourself, always. It depends on person. Somebody likes to run, somebody likes to do yoga, somebody likes to go to tennis or swim, I don't know. But you have to have some time during the week to do those things, because it's just we all need the time for ourselves. Somebody maybe wants to go to, I don't know, to spa, but we need to have a time for ourselves. Maybe even just walking for an hour.
Daily or weekly?
I would say it depends. Like for me, I need a movement every day. I can do something every day, but it's not like I will go to gym every day or go to yoga every day. I know that I need an hour of movement for my body to feel good. I can go with a bike around the house somewhere. I can go to yoga. I go to this water biking or something. But you need time for yourself. I think that's one of the first things that you have to keep in mind, because sometimes when we do all these things, we forget about self. And when we forget about ourselves, then it's the problem
disaster.
Starts.
Then
The
starting collapse of the family.
Yes. Then also, I think you have to have some rituals.
Rituals. Tell about the rituals.
I mean, for me, it's very important to wake up before everybody else wakes up. At even 10 minutes before I wake up, I do my thing.
What time do you wake up?
6 o'clock. Then
it's like, I'm sorry to interrupt you. It's like I was sending Signe a message. We were chatting in the Facebook. I wake up 5 o'clock, and Signe is saying, I was thinking, who is waking up? Who is writing me so early? Yes. The crazy one, Liene.
Yeah, because usually when I write to somebody, then I get replies after 3 hours. But yes. Then suddenly somebody just replies. And yes, I wake up at 6 and I make a breakfast for everybody. Then I just go to my little room, workroom. I have my coffee. I can maybe do some article or do some emails or something. And when everybody leaves, I start to work. I eat breakfast and then I start to work. I maybe write something.
Do you journal, like for yourself or your mind?
I do just works. I always write down the planning, but not like for one day. I do, if something comes into my mind, I just write it down, and when it's done, I like to...
How do you deal with time management? Because I know that's for entrepreneurs is the biggest issue, the time management part.
Well, one of my not friends, but one person, she told me once that you always have to keep in mind that during the day you can do 3 important tasks.
That's right.
And so I know that during 7 and 3 o'clock, I can do 3 big things. And I always try to figure out which are the most important things today. If it's a photo session or some recipe for a client or a partner, I will do that. And then I can do my own things. So I always make the priorities. And then if I have time for something else, I do something
It's wonderful. And I think this is the main thing. Thank you so much, Signe, because in time management, we have all those long lists, the sheets of our to-do list. And there's just one thing you need to keep in mind. If you prioritize 3 things on the daily basis, it can impact 80% of your productivity. You don't have to do everything. You just have to make this really strong decisions. What are most important 3 tasks, and then you go after them, right?
Yes. And then if maybe there's sometimes I have these 3 important things, and then there's something else which I have to do, but it's kind of not that important, but it's in my mind. So then I try always to finish those things too, because if they keep on popping in my mind and like distracting me from other things, then I try to do them. They're not sometimes big. Maybe it's just a line to somebody about some important question. You can do it maybe after 2 days, but I try to write it there so that it doesn't mess with my mind all the time. But yeah, about the rituals, for me, the ritual is important, because I wake up, I like to make the coffee. That's my ritual.
Really?
Yes. And then also when everybody leaves, I eat breakfast then, so that nobody disturbs me. It's a part of my ritual. If I don't have that during the week, then I feel a bit not lost, but I don't like it. And then also when I do for 2 or 3 hours something good, or I finish, I don't know, maybe a cake for a picture or something, then I like to sit down and have another coffee. And I know that for somebody it's something else, but for me those little things, they're like a small stops during the day when I have these 5 minutes or 10 minutes
for yourself.
Yes. And when I sit down and I know that I have done something, one task, and now I deserve the coffee, the moment, the aroma, or something else.
So you're celebrating your wins, and this is also, I believe, is really important that we acknowledge what we have done, because we are, especially I believe, Signe, I don't know why, I'm just seeing so many similarities, because we are coming from Soviet Union country, and we know the system is you just go do, and we forget to celebrate. We just go after because we have to do. And how our mind works, if we don't acknowledge what we have done good, you will not have the motivation and willingness to do something else. So Signe has found her real amazing recipe. If I've done something great, well, I deserve a cup of coffee, or maybe go manicure, right? Or maybe massage.
Yeah, and also if I have a good deal or something, we open a bottle of champagne or something.
Beautiful.
Because it's somebody says, oh, you always like to celebrate, and I actually love to celebrate little things and small big things, like it can be anniversary, it can be birthday, or it can be something small. But I think that if we don't celebrate the good things in our life, we just start to live like
this average life. And it's not about money, right?
No,
Signe?
no,
it's not about having this luxury life. It's about noticing the small moments and feeling them and living them till end,
because
right?
they make the life much more interesting and much more beautiful. And if we don't do it, then
Signe, I have especially lately when I work with my clients, what's the main problem is for them? They think, when I will have this, a special amount of money in my account, then I will be calm, then I will be peaceful, then I will be happy. When I will reach this one, then I will be happy.
No, yes, I know people like that, and I'm always saying that. I know one person, and he always said that, everything will be so different when I will have money. I will finally do this, and I will finally do this and that. And I said, you will not have money if you will think like that.
Exactly.
You will not have money. When you will stop thinking like that, then the money will finally come. Because he also always said that then he will buy this car, like these expensive things. And I said, the money will not come to you if you will think like that. Mm-hmm. When you will stop thinking about it and start to do things now, then the money will come. Because the money doesn't come to people who don't appreciate it that much.
Exactly.
Or want to
this is appreciation. If you can appreciate and be grateful what God giving to you now, if you will be grateful, then you show universe that you can have more, right?
Yes, we have been talking about with my husband, and we have been working so much, and why don't we have this a lot of money and everything so easy, and we still need to work a lot and on daily basis. And I said to him that actually, if I would have had this big fortune like 3 years ago, maybe, then I always say to him, I would be a bitch. Yes, because at that time or maybe 4 years ago, I was like, then I would show this to the world. And I'm like, I would spend the money on things which actually would, later on, I would think that I'm so stupid. So I think life didn't give me the money, because we worked hard. Mm-hmm. But my mind was set on the things that I will show to the world how cool I am. Mm-hmm. And I think I would be a very bad woman if I would have a lot of money. And I'm always saying to them, the money didn't come to me because I didn't appreciate it. And I would be a bad example to our kids and to everyone else.
Oh my gosh,
that's why the money slowly starts to maybe come now, when I start to think differently. And I don't think that it's the most important thing. And yes, and I see that people actually think like that.
Signe, thank you for your honesty. I think this is really brave what you are saying, because we are looking for something that's going to make us happy from outside, but it starts right here in our heart, with existing assets, with existing situation, with existing husband, with existing, friends and family members. And if you can find that piece of happiness in this right moment, then your world will mirror everything back to you, and universe will give you even more. Right?
That's true. And it's not about after 5 years we will have a big money and then we will be so happy, and
then you will have different problems, right?
Yes, but no, I think it's, if you're really waiting for something that it will solve your life. No, it's nothing solves your life except you, your decisions, your things that you do, and we cannot sit and wait for the miracles, and we cannot sit. Sometimes people say, oh, you make these beautiful celebrations, you always do these nice parties or something, and
but you do
life, yeah, but life for you is it's so interesting. So, but I am making my life interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else is making my party. I don't invite the party planners or something. I decide I want this party to be like this with this great food, and I do it.
And she has very good taste, guys. If you check her magazines, her website, I'm telling you, I'm like, I was in one photo shooting, and I'm seeing this. How is it possible to make from nothing something so tasteful and good looking? So this is, you have a taste, just you're enjoying.
But the idea is that we cannot sit and wait for the party to happen or for the beautiful things to happen. We make the beautiful things. If I want to have flowers at home, either I go and buy them. I go and buy them. I don't wait for somebody. Oh, maybe
my husband is bringing
someday will bring me the flowers, and until that I will be like, oh, I want those flowers. Why nobody is bringing me flowers? The moment you stop to wait something all the time, then the things start to happen. But you have to understand that these beautiful things that people can see in my pictures, they are created by me, by my work.
You have to give a work. You cannot expect just everything will happen. You have to, and this is a lot about the comfort zone as well. We tend to put responsibility on everyone. They have to make for us. But the point is, what am I ready to do more than anybody else to have the life I really want? And I actually have on my mirror in bathroom, when I'm brushing my teeth, I have written down for myself, question, what do I have to do in order to have extraordinary life? And that way I say to myself, Liene, it's all about your responsibility, what I will be doing different to have this life I really want. Not other people will not make it happy for me.
No.
I have to make it happy here deeply in myself.
Yes. It's like people say, you always have this good food in the party or something. How? Well, how? I'm cooking for,
and I'm learning,
right?
How long
I'm learning. I'm going to the shop. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about my daughter's birthday party for 2 months. I'm planning ahead, and then I'm actually cooking the food. It's not like I'm standing in the kitchen and thinking, oh, that would be so nice to have this great food. No, I'm cooking the food, and that's what makes it so tasty, because I do it. I'm not expecting somebody to.
And you put your heart into this.
Of course, and I don't expect somebody to call me and like, oh, hey, here's the food, here's the balloon, here are the balloons and everything. No.
Wonderful. Signe, I have a question. Signe has huge following of the people and great social media, and she is really like successful, like mother, entrepreneur. What is the piece of advice for the people who want to become as you are? What would you like, one thing that you would want to suggest them to do in order to have like this level of life? I mean, from the spiritual side.
You have to know what you love to do.
So you have to know what you love to do, your passion.
You have to follow your dream.
You have to follow,
and you have to do it with the highest quality possible.
So you raise the standards.
Yes, because there, especially in my business, when I have the blogs and I have the Instagram and everything, nowadays in social media there are so many, you can find so many things, but only the ones who do it really professionally or raise the standards or do it in a high quality, they usually stand out, because we have to stop doing it just to say, oh yes, I did it. You have to do it really, really from heart, and you have to believe it. If you believe it, then and remember that on your way to your success, you don't have to step on people. You don't have to be mean. You have to follow your dream, and you have to work on it. And you have to also say thank you to the people who have inspired you. I can see a lot that we haven't learned to say thank you to somebody
appreciate.
who has actually done something good for you. And when you do it, if you do it like that, then I think then it's a great
Focus.
it's a great focus, and you can be successful. You just have to don't put Instagram picture if it's done badly. Like for me, I have so many places, I have been so many places, bad lighting and everything, and I want to share it, but I don't share it.
But it's so beautiful. I cannot understand how somebody can have so great Instagram. She always looks good. She's always in the great places, and I really love it. But I like the one thing what you said. People tend to say, I will believe it when I see it. But there is one Wayne Dyer who is saying, you will see it when you will believe it. So your belief is so important. Right?
Yeah, it's one of the most important things, and we just have to remember that we live in a one world. What I see sometimes that people they do their blogs or their businesses, but they just do it like, oh, because it's stylish, I will do it. But we don't need to do that. We really have to focus on things we love, and we have to do it with a high quality. We have to stop doing it just because it's something cool, or you can get products for free or something else like bloggers do all the time. It's just, no, it doesn't make our world more beautiful. It just distracts from the main things we have to do, and I don't like it. And so if you follow your dream, and you really have to know what is your dream, I think sometimes that's the hardest thing to find.
Yes, the clarity and knowing what
I know that a lot of women work in like banks or everywhere else, and they say, but I have this dream, and you just the more you wait to step out of the work you don't like, to follow your dream, the harder it becomes, because you just go to work and you feel more depressed and everything else. You have to step out.
I love it, Signe, and I love it the way you show that people, they spend all their life doing something what they don't love to do, and it's because of, always I have kids, how I will pay the rent. But what I'm saying, you are wasting your own life. It's your life. It's your kids will take care of themselves. Your husband will find a way, but you have to fulfill yourself, and you have to know you come into this world not to suffer, not to do the duty. God gave you this life to enjoy and just explore and take the risks, and maybe don't think about the failure. You will fail. How many times you have been failing?
Okay, I have been failing. Even yesterday, I made this cake, which I have done 3 times, and now I have to do it for the book, and something. I changed the chocolate, and it's just and I mean, it changes, and the recipe changes, and it didn't work out as good. I know the recipe is good, and I will make it once again. But yeah, it was a failure, but I mean, I learned from it. I made another cake, and it's very good. I made another recipe, and
where's the old one?
No, the old one I just transformed it in another recipe, and so. But you will fail. You fail. You don't learn if you don't fail. I mean, you don't have to fail all the time. Then it's a bit. Then it's another problem.
But you learn from your mistakes.
Yes,
you learn.
Yes.
Okay, Signe, we have to end our life step by step, but I will have a few questions for you. And those are fast track questions. Okay, so chocolate or vanilla?
Vanilla.
One word that describes you?
Croissant.
Oh, croissant. Your favorite movie?
Ratatouille, I would say.
Oh, I don't know that movie. Well, check it out. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Early bird or night owl?
Now early.
Oh, okay. 6 o'clock. Winter or summer?
But then it's cold winter.
Cold
like
winter.
minus 15 and lots of snow. If it's not like that, then summer.
Your guilty pleasure?
I love sweets.
Doesn't look like.
I
look-
love. I could swim in an ocean of great cakes and everything.
Cake or chocolate?
Oh, that's a tricky question. Okay, if chocolate, because it's more healthier.
Okay. Recent book you read?
What?
Recent book you read?
Recent book. Dorothy Must Die, and that's the book I didn't like.
You didn't like.
No.
Okay. What's on your phone wallpaper?
My daughters.
Okay.
In Tuscany.
Oh, super. Signe, I really enjoyed this honestly our talk, and I enjoyed how deep and meaningful person you are and how you are thinking, and I really appreciate you invited me in your home. I really appreciate your time that you spend with me. So I think we can, as us as an entrepreneurs and mothers, we can take so much from your experience. So I really appreciate it.
Can I do like thank you, but can I do like American stuff? And please visit www.storyAboutFood.com.
Yes, actually, you can have still time to explain about it, because I think that's the new website of yours.
Yes, that's my English website. I did because I like to travel a lot and do things a lot also outside Latvia. So yes, that's my newest baby.
www.storyaboutfood.com, and I'm sure if you join it, if you will look at it, it's gonna be outstanding. Everything design way, the quality way, and picture wise, you will just will go like in a journey, right?
Yes, but I learned it from my American friend to say it at the end.
No, it's good. That's
no,
sure.
Latvians don't do it.
Latvians, we are just so Latvians.
It's the second time in my life I do it.
Oh, cool. So www.storyaboutfood.com. All right, guys. Thank you so much, and let's see you soon. Bye. Bye.